Coming off a 58-56 win against Kentucky on Thursday. First basket of the ball game is scored by Richardson.
The freshman is capable of putting some points up, and right now at 6'1", great athletic ability around the paint.
Barbie on the drive, gives it up to the corner, and Ford, who launches a three and buries it.
You saw Mississippi State in their pressure defense. Barbie takes care of the ball, finds Ford on the baseline with the skip pass and knocks down the three.
And a steal by Kalita Miller. She'll take it all the way and lay it in.
Georgia's showing some 2-2-1 pressure, some soft pressure, and trapping the ball around midcourt. Then they're falling back into a 2-3 zone, trying to waste some time on that shot clock, making Mississippi State play impatiently and setting up their offensive scheme.
May looking inside for Allwall. Instead, Dillingham on the other wing, and she hits it off to a great start offensively here as Georgia leads Mississippi State 5-4. We've had 9 points scored in the first 70 seconds.
Well, if Dillingham can continue being that outside threat, Mississippi State has 3 top scorers in the game.
Ford on the handoff and the drive and the rebound, yanked down by Allwall.
Katia May handling the ball, handling position for Mississippi State, does a great job, has good vision, will get her team into a scheme that they'll think inside out first with Martha Allwall on the inside.
And Barbie nearly comes up with her first steal of the game.
There we go, just like we said in the opening, Matt. Her presence on the court, understanding when that ball handler is going to pass, dribble, or shoot the ball, she has great anticipation.
May gets the inbounds, now less than 10 seconds on the shot clock. Allwall banging bodies down underneath with Hempy, and it's saved by Georgia.
Hempy does a great job of bodying up to Allwall and then permitting her just space off her right shoulder, not off her left.
Ford shot it over the hoop. Carter with the rebound, brings it up for Mississippi State.
Mississippi State will look for options in their offensive scheme, trying to get it inside to Allwall.
May goes in there amongst the trees and gets the layup.
Great job by Katia May, having great vision, seeing her defensive assignment was sagging off her, and she takes the ball right to the rack.
At 5'2", May is one of the smallest players in the Southeastern Conference.
She's one of the leaders in averaging assists per game.
Nice high-low action there by Georgia as Donald gets the ball to Barbie underneath.
Well, see, that's the tough guard, man. Barbie can go inside out. When they have mismatches, she can play a power game down low.
13 points scored here in less than 3 minutes.
And we were talking about a sloppy game. Forget that.
Yeah, exactly.
Both of them have their offensive engines going. They're ready for Super Sunday.
Less than 10 on the shot clock. They go to Allwall, battling against Hempy. Basket and a foul.
Allwall showing some excitement, but she's got great hands inside, soft hands, ability to catch, and then take that ball to the rim. But it all starts with her balance down low. Good look inside to her. She catches, seeks contact, has the contact, and scores the basket.
Hempy comes out after picking up that foul, and Haley Washington, the freshman, checks in. Allwall at 15.2 points per game, but only 12 points per game in the SEC. Southeastern teams have made it very difficult on her, but she completes the three-point play.
But still, this is her best offensive season. You can see her just gaining confidence in her game down low.
Mississippi State leads by 2. Ball lost, and Dillingham tie up with Miller, possession arrow favoring Georgia.
That's the type of pressure you'll see from Mississippi State, man-for-man pressure. They get into the passing lanes and try to deflect all passes and set up traps.
Mississippi State already has 236 steals this season, surpassing last season's total. And a turnover for Georgia as Donald stepped on the sideline.
Well, when you average over 10 steals per game, good things will happen to your team. And your opponents now will start forcing shots that they shouldn't be taking.
Chappell off the back iron, rebound by Washington.
Georgia setting up with a 4-out, 1 in, trying to set some screens, but slips the screen and takes the ball to the rack.
Miller, basket will be waved off. That'll be an offensive foul on Kalita Miller.
Georgia's offense, what you're seeing, Matt, is the ability when the screen comes up, they opt not to use the screen and take the baseline side, and they found some great driving lanes.
Mississippi State was able to get 11 charges on LSU last week despite the loss. The miss by Allwall underneath. Chappell gets it back, shot it off the bottom of the backboard.
You have to know where you're at all times, but Georgia's defensive pressure there. She takes the bad shot. Georgia recovers the ball. Now they're in an opportunity to score.
Barbie on the drive, has to stop the dribble. Nearly stolen by Chappell. Barbie gets it back and will have a foul or a 3-second violation called on Georgia. And that gets us to our first timeout of the game. Big start to the game. Mississippi State 4 of 8, Georgia 3 of 5. Bulldogs lead the Lady Bulldogs 9-7, 4.5 minutes in. Did y'all build that graphic that I had about Mississippi State athletics and launch the advantage? Let's come back. A big stat that we will be tracking all day long will be Mississippi State's offensive rebounds. They're number 2 in the conference, and Georgia's defensive rebounds. They're number 1 in the conference in defensive rebounding percentage. Coach Joe, already Georgia 3 rebounds, all on the defensive glass. And Mississippi State, one of their 3 rebounds have come on the offensive glass.
Well, we talked about unscripted points, and what you have right now is a situation where with Mississippi State, they look for those opportunities with the putbacks, where Georgia is a defensive team. They're getting the defensive rebounds, but they don't have the opportunity to have those unscripted points as Mississippi State does.
Katia May launching the three-pointer, and May's got a couple of baskets, and Mississippi State leads by 4.
Mississippi State staying in the pressure defense, taking away those passing lanes. Georgia has to have the patience just to slow down and attack the rim.
Well, Washington attacked the rim, had her shot partially blocked, I believe, by Allwall, and Mississippi State runs out. Carter open for a three-pointer. Rims out, rebound by Ford.
But getting back to Washington's drive to the basket, you have to understand Allwall is a great shot blocker. You have to put yourself in a position to shot fake and get out of tempo when you're taking the ball to the basket.
Jump ball, it'll be Mississippi State's ball. So Bulldogs up by 5 here in the opening 5.5 minutes.
And just looking sharp offensively. Katia May is just playing a smart, an IQ game now where she's getting the ball to the right people. There's good movement against the zone, and they're working hard to screen the top of the zone.
And that's what they're looking for. May launches another three, and she buries another three. Katia May with a couple of three-pointers. May has scored 8 of their first 15 points, and she averages only 7.9 a game.
Well, there she goes. I hope she's not satisfied with that. And Katia May is shooting 36% from the three-point line, so Georgia has to be aware of her hot hand.
Ball is nearly stolen away by Mississippi State. Jump ball. This time it'll be Georgia's.
Haley Washington is going to have to understand she's against the career shot blocker in the SEC and Martha Alwell, but it takes movement. She has to become a screener and move to break down Alwell's defense. If you're going to stand and go power to power with Alwell, she's going to have the advantage.
Interesting that Hempy came off the floor immediately, picking up that first personal foul, has not been back out. Washington gets the inbounds, lobs inside for Barbie. They had a great mismatch, Barbie on May, and they took advantage of it.
Well, and smart enough to see the mismatch and then have the patience to get the ball down to Barbie.
6-point lead for Mississippi State.
Georgia switching defenses, showed a 2-3 last time down to 4, now in a 1-2-2 to try to match up with May on the perimeter.
Pass for Alwall, tipped up into the air by Georgia, and they come away with it.
But deflected by Barbie and stolen by Barbie.
Kalita Miller inside the arc. And Carter comes away with it from Mississippi State. Inside to Richardson, banging bodies, missed the layup. But Richardson, a freshman from Conyers, Georgia, just 45 minutes away from Athens. A really fine-looking ball player.
Just a little too anxious. You like her athletic ability at 6'1". Got the ball in great position, but just forced that shot up rather than just laying it off her fingertips. And right now, you love her game. You love her passion for the game.
You saw that Hempy checked back into the ball game after sitting for about 4 minutes.
Georgia, seeing the mismatches, has Miller handling the ball up on top. And Barbie's running baseline and posting up just to be that threat. Georgia has a small lineup in the game.
Tiara Griffin shoots it over the hoop. Hempy going for the rebound, a whistle underneath. And Hempy just was fouled on the play. I thought for a moment they might have called the foul on Hempy. Instead, the foul goes against Mississippi State.
Once again, Matt, there's those unscripted points. Hempy on the weak side gets the ball. They call the foul, but a non-shooting foul. So Georgia has the ball baseline out of bounds. Coach Lander's very effective in running and trying to secure points off his baseline plays.
First foul on Carter, first team foul on Mississippi State. Georgia has 2 team fouls thus far. The 5-second violation as Kalita Miller can't get the ball in bounds. And a timeout wanted by Andy Landers, and he gets it.
As I expressed my feelings about Coach Landers doing a great job on their baseline out of bounds, Mississippi State counters with great defensive pressure, switching everything, going to the ball, and Georgia gets called for a 5-second call.
This is the 40th all-time meeting between Mississippi State and Georgia. Bulldogs lead, the Lady Bulldogs that is, lead the all-time series 26-13. But, Coach, it's been a much more competitive series here in Starkville with the series only 10-8. Now, on Super Sunday, Georgia 17-6 and have played Mississippi State 4 times on Super Sunday. Well, having won 3 of them. The only time they didn't was the year that Atlanta lost the Super Bowl to Denver.
Well, we don't have to worry about that since Atlanta's not in there this year. But you talk about Georgia calling a timeout there. Coach Landers does a great job of settling his team down. And he's got to find a way to generate points. And they're going to get out there and pressure that ball. Upset about the out-of-bounds play, but that's a play. That's forgotten about now. They have to defend and do the things they do best.
Dillingham rolls it in.
See, Dillingham with that hot hand right now. Against Mizzou last Sunday, she had 21 points. That's most by a freshman since 2007. So if she gets in the flow with Alwall and Katia May, that's great. Those are great offensive weapons.
Again, Georgia effective going high-low with Hempy passing underneath the Griffin. And one of the things that Vic Schaefer was very concerned about was the play of Georgia's guards. And Georgia has been able to get points down low from their guards?
Well, because, basically they do a great job of coming off the screens. You're playing a small lineup in Georgia. So, with Barbie playing a guard at 5'10", you've got Miller once again, and then you look at what you're doing inside with Tiara Griffin. You don't have much size, but you have great quickness and great scoring ability.
7 on the shot clock. Carter slings it across court to Dillingham. 2 on the clock. Allwall has to shoot and hit the rim. Donald got the rebound. And stole it. May, shot blocked by Barbie to Richardson, and one.
You're seeing the hustle in what Mississippi State is trying to accomplish in terms of their defense, their transition baskets, attacking the rim off the transition, and right now you have a situation where they get the pass inside to Brianna Richardson. She scores and she's fouled.
8.5 minutes in, Mississippi State with a 19-11 lead as the Bulldogs turning turnovers into points on the offensive end. .11:33 to play in the first half. Matt Stewart along with Coach Joe Champion. Mississippi State leading Georgia 19-11. And the Bulldogs have done a very good job, Coach, of getting points off turnovers. They forced 6 turns on Georgia and gotten 10 points out of it.
Mississippi State right now, Matt, they're showing me consistent effort in their technique to force Georgia out of their comfort zone and gaining those steals and transition baskets. And anytime you can have 10 points off of turnovers, that's a big key for their success right now. And Georgia has to find a way to shorten that decision making and take care of the ball.
Richardson completes the three-point play. Mississippi State averaging 24.5 points to their opponents, 12.5 points per game off of turnovers. It's the most points they've scored off of turnovers since their 2010 Sweet 16 team, and already more than they had all of last season.
Well, what does that say, the Sweet 16 team? You understand what you have to accomplish and how you have to, but you have to stay consistent in your effort. 5 players, thinking team first and help defense and getting into those passing lanes, but everybody has to be on the same page.
This is the largest lead for Mississippi State. They lead by 9 with just under 11 minutes to play here in the first half. Allwall missed up close, and Washington grabs the rebound, but Coach, twice they've had double-digit leads in SEC play and lost the game. Did it against Auburn and against Ole Miss.
Well, and you ask yourself why. They just don't have that go-to ball player. They'll get in a rush. They'll start feeling good. And you look at Mississippi State, and I say that to you right now. Who's their go-to ball player? They can't find it. Now, Katia May has to slow down. And talking to Coach Schaefer at shoot-around, they want Allwall to secure more touches, but that starts with your perimeter people finding her on the inside.
Allwall gets another touch and a basket and one.
You love her soft hands. You love her ability to work hard to catch the ball. And she's got the length. She's got the great length to kiss it off the glass.
Allwall had missed 4 of her first 5 shots until this one right there.
But you see the position on her. She had Hempy on her right side, and then Barbie tries to come over on the weak side, but too much athletic ability by Allwall to take that quick step and kiss it off the glass.
Allwall at the line trying to complete the three-point play. She's been only a 52.5% free throw shooter in conference play, but now a 12-point lead for Mississippi State.
Getting back to your point, Matt, about what went on against Auburn, when they had the big lead. You have a young lady like Allwall now that has to go, and you have to give her the ball, give her the touches when you have that lead so you can be effective down low.
Ford for 3, nails it. A second three-pointer for Ford. She has both for Georgia in this game, and it gets it back to a 9-point contest.
That has to be a good feeling for Erika Ford. She struggled against Kentucky, even though they came away with the victory. Erika was 0 for 12 against the Kentucky Wildcats.
May remains red hot. Katia May now with 10 points. She's 4 of 5 from the floor, and that includes 2 of 2 from behind the three-point line.
Well, I love her game. After reading the comments about their game against LSU, she had 7 turnovers, but you couldn't tell that today. She's playing with a different mindset.
Wow.
And as I say that, she gets the steal in there.
She gets a double steal. She stole it, lost it, and stole it back, and the ensuing jump ball call results in Mississippi State getting the turnover. That'll be an 8th turnover on Georgia.
Just so effective in their pressure on the ball, and the quick hands of Katia May gives Mississippi State an extra possession.
Mississippi State forcing 23.2 turnovers per game, 18.6 in conference play, and they started the day just 19 shy of last season's total of 530. Today, they have forced 8 already, and Katia May has had a big role in the offensive and the defensive game plan with 10 points, 2 assists, 4 of 5 shooting, and 2 steals.
What does that say about the Secretary of Defense? He may be up for a vice presidency after this.
Get a bump up. Allwall with the basket. Now she's got 8 points.
You got to love everything about Allwall's game. Her hands, her feet, the shooting stroke. Some people would learn how to shoot that ball. She has a short shooting stroke, but the lift and push action is consistent every time she's looking for her shot.
Richardson drives the left side, and she got fouled. So Brianna Richardson will be going to the foul line.
Well, that's a scouting report on Brianna. She loves to catch it up at that free throw area, put it on the floor, either left hand or right hand, and draw the foul going to the rim.
Washington called for the foul, number 1 on her, and now 5 team fouls for Georgia. You see Washington averaging 8.8 a game, but in conference play, Richardson is averaging 11.4.
She just walks up to the challenge. Against Mizzou last Sunday, had 15 points and shot 50% from the floor.
SEC men's basketball coming up on Wednesday night after our National Signing Day coverage as Texas A&M will play host to these Mississippi State Bulldogs on the men's side. That's on Wednesday night at 9 o'clock Eastern right here on CSS.
Right now, you're getting contributions from many players on Mississippi State's team. They've got to find a way. It all starts with Allwall on the inside, and now as she's sitting down, let's see offensively what the Mississippi State Bulldogs can do.
Griffin firing the 3 off the mark. Butler got the rebound, and Griffin gets it back. Griffin has really struggled. She was Georgia's top scorer coming out of non-conference play, 14.2 a game. She's averaging only 5.6 in SEC play.
And there's no rhyme or reason for the situation, but Tierra, has a great ball game. She had 8 against Kentucky last week. She just has to let the game come to her.
And they will count the basket. So a three-point chance coming up here for Erika Ford after scoring on the drive. And Ford off to a good start here today. Ford now with 8, a chance to get to 9 here in the opening 12 minutes of the game.
Well, what I like about Erika's game and Georgia's possession, they attack the paint. And you can't settle for those three-point shots. Even though they're good shooters from the outside, they have to attack the paint, break down the defense, and then take that outside shot so they have rebounding position.
That was the first free throw for Georgia in this game. Ford now has 9 of Georgia's 17.
And that's what happens when you settle for jump shots.
May on the drive, shot it over the hoop. Good defense by Hempy, but on the backside, the offensive rebound and the put in by Sharice Williams.
Williams, a young sophomore at 6'1", finds her way on the weak side board to collect 2 points.
And Butler called for traveling and a timeout as Mississippi State has opened up a 14-point lead on Georgia in the opening 12 minutes. Katia May didn't get the basket this time, but she created points nonetheless with the offensive rebound by Sharice Williams, and the Bulldogs out to a big lead on Georgia.
Katia. Let's go Katia.
Turnovers? Wow. They got 16 points off turnovers. Yep. Katia May with a huge day already, 10 points, 2 assists, and 2 steals.
What you love about her game, she's leading this team with close to 6 assists, but she finds her way to score now. She adds ammunition to the weapons of Mississippi State. Great soft touch from the 3, but more importantly, I love her leadership now. She's the extension of Coach Schaefer on the floor.
And what a difference a year makes. Last year against Georgia, she played 10 scoreless minutes with 4 personal fouls and 3 turnovers in the 50-38 win. She's played a huge role so far in the Bulldogs jumping out to a 14-point lead on the Lady Bulldogs.
Well, Matt, what you find out about coaching, probably the most underrated part is the ability to motivate. And Coach Schaefer, in his 2 short years here, has these players playing at a different level simply because he believes in them and they believe in his system.
Mississippi State turnover there as Carter is called for traveling, but Vic Schaefer has done a tremendous job of turning this program in the right direction in a short amount of time. This is just his 2nd season.
Well, what you see from his offensive philosophy, everybody contributes. He believes in their ability to find ways to score, and no one's playing in a box.
And look at the difference in this Mississippi State program from one year to the next. 15 wins. This was the quickest they've been to 15 wins in close to 5 years, averaging nearly 20 more points per game, shooting so much better, and, of course, the rebounding has been big.
Well, you ask yourself, why are they scoring so much better? Because of the defense. The defense turns into points, and the shooting percentage is high. As we see in this game, it's their transition basket, and it's their hustle points.
Well, you can see Mississippi State plays such an aggressive brand of defense. And Tiara Griffin knocks down the shot inside the arc. Perhaps that'll get her going. That's her second basket of the ballgame.
Well, you feel about it may get her going, but what's it going to do for her teammates? Everybody was standing still, and she gained that shot off her dribble rather than contributing with screens and cutting action. It was a 1-on-4 game.
Richardson driving from the high post. That was something that Andy Landers was concerned about before the game. And Richardson picks up the foul on Georgia.
Well, the first objective there, Matt, is to find a way to keep the ball out of the high post area. When the ball's on the wing, you should have someone covering that elbow side and the block side so you take away the passing lanes.
Richardson, 64% free throw shooter, but 71% in conference play.
And you know what, Matt? It just matters today. She's shooting with confidence. She believes in her shot. It's a nice stroke. And right now, Mississippi State is in a flow offensively and especially defensively.
Richardson 4 for 4 at the line today. Bulldogs are 6 for 6. And back to a 14-point lead.
Putting some pressure right now, some token pressure down low, and making Georgia work for every possession.
Mississippi State's 50-38 win against Georgia back on February 28th last season was the biggest win of Vic Shaver's first season. They did a number on Georgia defensively. But here today, it's been their offense that they've unleashed as Hempy was fouled on the play, and she'll go to the line.
Hempy hustles on the weak side, catches the ball, and shoots it quickly and gets called for the foul. Now we got some problems with Kelly Johnson, the official, is warning Jacoby Barbie and Katia May for their actions out there. Just playing good, hard, lively basketball. But Katia has a big assignment to cover Barbie. Right. What I'm seeing, Matt, with the Georgia offense and Mississippi State defense, well, Mississippi State isn't permitting Georgia to use the screens. So now they're forcing it to one side of the floor, and Mississippi State is giving great help on the dribble drive.
Hempy with her first 2 free throws of the day. Georgia now 3 of 3 at the line. Their improvement at the line has been dramatic over the last couple of weeks. Richardson again driving from the high post. This time she has to kick it out as he runs into a double team.
Georgia does a great job of sinking to the dribbler and taking away the lane to the rim.
Katia May gives it up, down to 5 on the shot clock. Pass stolen right into the hands of Kalita Miller. And her pass stolen by May, who slips and falls down.
Great hustle by Katia May. Just the effect to get down there, hustle in the transition, put some pressure on the ball, and then deflect the ball out of bounds. Just great hustle, and maybe needs a new pair of shoes. She's one of those with her quickness.
Lost her tread. She burned up all the tread. 6 minutes to play in the half. Mississippi State leading Georgia by 12 here on Super Sunday. Miller the inbounds. Georgia's already had 1 5-second violation. This time they get it in. Miller gets it back, drives the baseline, whips it along to Barbie, nearly lost the dribble. Carter falls down. Barbie shoots it in with the left hand.
Barbie very effective in ability to put the ball on the floor, take her time, and find the lane to the rim.
Third basket for Barbie. She's 6 for 6. 3 of 3 shooting today. Georgia shooting well. Georgia shooting 47%, 9 of 19, but Mississippi State even better, 12 of 22, 54.5%.
And you ask yourself, why? Well, all those points are coming off of turnovers, and that's why the shooting percentage is so high. Right now, we have them plus 14 on points off of turnovers.
Hempy called for her second foul, puts Allwall back at the line for the second time. She's 2 for 2 at the line today. Now 3 for 3, and the Bulldogs are 8 for 8 at the line today.
Well, prior to the game, when we had a time to talk with Coach Landers, we talked about the low post presence of Martha Allwall and how it has improved, and it would be a big challenge for Georgia to find a way to slow her down.
9 for 9 start for Mississippi State at the line today. A 70% free throw shooting team for the season. Shooting even better than that today.
Mississippi State does a great job of recovering from that transition pass. And right now, Georgia just having patience and trying to wear down Mississippi State on the dribble drive.
Dillingham the rebound on the Ford miss.
Both teams find the ball quickly in transition to slow it down and force them to set up their half-court offense.
Foul's going to be called on Hempy, I believe, and that's going to be number 3 on her. So, worst case scenario brewing here for Georgia as Hempy picks up 3 fouls in the first half, and she'll go to the bench, no doubt, until the second half, and Washington checks back in. Washington already has 1 foul herself.
It's all about position with Merritt Hempy, and Allwall does a great job of constant movement, getting screen set, and Hempy's lateral quickness isn't as quick as Allwall, so she has to find a way to anticipate and get away from her and have space where she can't be beat going to the basket.
Allwall, leading scorer in this game. She's got 11, well on her way to what would be her 9th career 20-point game. She's got 12 of Mississippi State's 37.
Well, Matt, you think about Martha Allwell. We've come over, we've watched her play, and the only one that has stopped her from scoring is her teammates. You know, they didn't give her the touches that she should have had early on in the game.
And Haley Washington is hurt. I don't know if it might be a cramp, and hopefully that is it.
I think that's what she's indicating.
I think her left calf muscle is tightened up on her. I don't know if she can stay in the game, but she acts as if she wants to. We'll see. She stays in the ball game with 4:50 to play and 17 on the shot clock for the Lady Bulldogs. Barbie dribbles off her foot. May picks it up. Going against Miller. And May puts it in. 12 for May.
Great soft touch on the rim and just touches both sides and goes in. But May's smart enough not to take the ball to basket because she was outsized, but just nice, easy touch and gets away with it.
Richardson grabs the rebound. Foul's going to be called on Georgia, as the Bulldogs have now scored 18 points off of Lady Bulldogs turnovers, and Kaylin Washington has to check into the ball game, and Kaylin Causwell checks into the ball game for Haley Washington, who has to go to the bench.
Right now, Washington getting her baptism, playing against one of the top post players in the league. Shot blocker, but turning into an offensive machine today, and Washington cramping up. Just is suffering from those cramps right now. She's got to find a way, get some good juice into her, and get some liquids, and get ready for a second half.
My goodness, Coach. Bulldogs already have 3 players in double figures. Richardson has 10 now and 11. She's 7 for 7 at the line with 11 points. Allwall has 12 points, 6 for 6 at the line, and May has 12 points.
Well, both teams have struggled in SEC play to score points, just around, Georgia at 60 and Mississippi State at 63. And right now, Mississippi State is going to come close to that by halftime.
What's amazing, Coach, is Georgia on Thursday against one of the top offensive teams in the country, Kentucky, held them 30 points below their per-game average. And here today, Mississippi State has 71 points, or has 41 points in the first half, and they average only 63.5 points per game in SEC play.
Well, you look at both teams, their attack mode. You don't have the attack mode in terms of, right now, you have the transition baskets, the steals. You pick up and take the shot.
Mississippi State leading Georgia 41-23 with 3:57 to play in the first half. Matt Stewart along with Coach Joe Champion. Joe, how are they doing it? Well, they're doing it with points off turnovers. They've scored 18 points so far off 11 Georgia turnovers, and they're outscoring Georgia 16-12 points in the paint.
Well, that's certainly right. But you look at and you ask me why Kentucky only scores 56. Two reasons, and you just put it up on the screen right there. You talked about Mississippi State's inside presence. They have a low post presence. And second, Georgia handled Kentucky's pressure on Thursday. Today, Mississippi State is just garnering so many points off their pressure and getting easy baskets. But right now, the attack, you step in, Richardson steps in, and that's a good call.
Offensive foul called on Barbie. That's number 2 on her. May ends up traveling.
Not trying to do too much. May has had a good balance in her game because she let the game come to her. Now she's trying to force action, and she doesn't need to force any action. Just stay within the rhythm of the game. Once again, Georgia with the only size in the game for them is Coswell, but then you ask yourself, can you do anything offensively?
Ball knocked out of bounds by Dillingham with 18 on the shot clock for Georgia.
Right now, Mississippi State doing a great job. Savannah Carter and Katia May both switching jobs, assignments on Jacoby Barbie, and getting her frustrated in her ability to attack, to attack the rim.
Ford. Rebound tipped away and ends up in the hands of Mississippi State as Carter brings it across. Bounce into Allwall going against Coswell. Good defense by Coswell. Ahead it comes to Barbie. Coswell gets it back. Got it back again. Had it knocked loose. Dillingham brings it up for Mississippi State. And Carter fouled on the play. And Barbie just picked up her third if it's on Barbie. Yep, Barbie now has 3 personal fouls, as does Hempy.
And Savannah Carter just had to bail herself out. She knew that Barbie was covering, jumps into her chest, and the whistle's blown, in favor of Mississippi State. Barbie now with 3. Coach Landers has a decision to make right now with 3 minutes left to go in the first half.
Savannah Carter, that is the first free throw miss for Mississippi State after they hit their first 13. And Barbie will come out of the ball game. Tiara Griffin checks back in. So the 2 players we talked about in the open for Georgia, Hempy and Barbie, both on the bench with 3 personal fouls.
Big contributors in last Thursday's win against Kentucky. Georgia has to find a way now to have some offensive balance.
You got to find something from Coswell down low, and they've got to get something from Griffin on the perimeter and defensively. Donald with the basket, and a foul underneath is going to be on Georgia, I believe on Coswell. Let's see if they count the basket. They do count the basket by Donald, and then the foul was called on Coswell. That will put Dillingham at the line. Coming up at halftime, we'll take a look around the conference, plus update you on all the scores today and look at the first half highlights.
With Georgia's basket right there was the ability to drive the paint, draw the defense, and kick out to Krista Donald, who just looked good in knocking down that 2-point shot.
Dillingham with her first free throw today. She now has 5 points.
Matt, we talked about the small lineup in Georgia, and Krista Donald right now for this season has the most rebounds of any Georgia Bulldog, had 16 boards in the Ohio State game. It just shows you what type of advantage and disadvantage Georgia has playing a small lineup most of the season.
Washington, who just checked into the ball game for Coswell, gets the rebound. That's her third. Ford working against Dillingham, goes by her and lays it in. And Ford becomes the first Lady Bulldog to reach double figures. She has 11.
Erika Ford once again decided not to use the screen, goes baseline and finds an easy 2.
Real battle going on between Washington and Allwell. Georgia comes up with the steal ahead to Griffin. Griffin with the layup. A couple of layups here by Georgia, and they're back to within 13.
Georgia's defense getting some stops and then turning those into to points at the other end.
And now a timeout called by Vic Schaefer.
Great pass on the inside. You have a run out. Griffin picks it up and lays it up with the left hand. Just turning points by your defensive effort, showing consistency. And you see Coach Landers having a talk with Joe Cunningham on the effects of the game being called both ways.
Well, Landers was working on Kelly Johnson, and now he's starting to work on Joe Cunningham. And Landers has had to do a lot of that during his career, and it's been an illustrious career. 35 seasons as Georgia's head coach, 920 career wins, second among active women's basketball head coaches behind Sylvia Hatchell of North Carolina, inducted into the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame in 2007, National Coach of the Year 4 times, most recently in 2000, the last time they went to the Final Four.
Well earned by Coach Landers, but just like he's talking to Kelly Johnson right now, I just think he's asking what team you're thinking about in Super Sunday. You like Denver, you like Seattle.
You think that's what he's asking?
Yeah, and he was telling Cunningham the same thing. Just, I think Denver's going to win it, and why would you even think about Seattle?
Richardson off the back iron, long rebound. Ford chases it down for Georgia. Georgia tried to make a late push here at the end of the first half. Ford pulls up and hits another. Ford now with 13 points, a great chance to pass her career high of 23, which she has done twice this season against South Carolina State, most recently against Florida here on CSS a couple of weeks ago.
Georgia's defense comes out and has 4 straight stops.
And Donald races Richardson to the ball and knocked it out of bounds.
All about hustle now. Mississippi State, like we mentioned, who's your go-to ball player? It's all wall. Let's take our time and let's work to get her the ball. And if we can't, we'll look for our second and third option.
Stolen by Griffin. Working against May and got fouled on the layup. And so Tiara Griffin will go to the foul line.
You're Mississippi State making poor decisions on handling that ball. And Georgia will take advantage of that long pass outside. Griffin steals the pass and then draws the foul. Will go to the free throw line for 2 shots.
So Georgia giving Mississippi State a dose of their own medicine. Georgia now has 5 steals in the game as well, as Tiara Griffin hits the free throw. That's just the 4th for Georgia. They remain perfect at the line, and Griffin has 7 points.
Matt, this all started when Barbie went out of the game with 3 personal fouls, and Griffin comes in. It just shows me now everybody's picked up their game because Barbie is so important in every category. Now everybody has to pick up their game and just give this Georgia Bulldog team a lift.
Georgia on a 7-0 run to cut the Mississippi State lead to 10. Bounce into Allwall, working against Washington, had her shot blocked. Ford puts it in and one.
Georgia working hard at both ends of the floor, taking the ball right to the rim, and Mississippi State doesn't have an answer for the Georgia attack.
All started with Haley Washington blocking the shot of Mississippi State's all-time shot blocker.
Great effort by Washington, and then we get the run out on the run out and the attack of the rim. Knocks down the shot, and now you have a situation where Erika Ford can bring her team within 7 points.
10-0 run for Georgia, and Erika Ford was 16 of Georgia's 35 points in the first half.
And she struggled last Thursday. That's what I love about these ball players. They don't have a memory.
Pass goes into Allwall. They had a mismatch as Donald was trying to defense her, and Allwall snaps the Georgia run.
Georgia's done a great job of keeping Allwall away from the blocks, and that time she got down low, and it's just an easy 2.
Allwall's already got 14 in the game. Ford goes to work again and lays it in again. Erika Ford with 18 first half points.
Savannah Carter's finding out right now that Erika Ford has some jets to take that ball to the rim. She's have to give her space so she can't be beat on that first dribble.
Down to our final 10 seconds. Mississippi State 1 for 4, 3 turnovers, last 7 possessions. And this will be their last possession of the half. 3 seconds on the clock. Nearly lost the dribble. Double dribbled. And Georgia gets the ball with 1.5 seconds. A final possession for the Bulldogs.
Right there, you had Brianna Richardson handling the ball rather than in Katia May's hands, so she could set up her shooters.
Pass intercepted by Richardson, and that is the end of the half. High-scoring first half between these two defensive-minded teams, and Mississippi State will take a